Well, if we're gonna find any ghosts, we better split up.
You're listening to Never Split Up, a horror movie podcast.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Never Split Up podcast. This is episode 48, where we are covering Jordan Peele's Nope, released in 2022. I'm Nolan, that's Anthony. How you doing today, Ant?
I'm doing good. I'm happy that we're doing another episode. Getting consistent again.
For sure. As you guys know, we had our kind of a return episode after a little break in the winter. We covered a big one for you especially, Ant. We covered Scream 2, and we got some good numbers on that. So thanks everyone for tuning in. That was a really fun episode, kind of going at it back and forth. So I had a really good time covering that.
Yeah, that was a blast. Obviously, anything Scream for me is a blast. So I'm happy that was our episode back. So let's get to Nope now. Jordan Peele, the return of Jordan Peele on the podcast.
Yeah, and it took you about a year to be ready to cover Scream 2, so hopefully it doesn't take a full year to get to Scream 3, because we'll never get to that franchise.
We can't keep
They'll
them
be
waiting
releasing
that long.
movies faster than, yeah. All right.
We'll have to wrap that franchise up before 7 comes out.
Yeah, for sure. And they're some of our most popular episodes. People love Scream. People love slashers. We really do well with the slasher episodes, so we definitely have to get back to that quickly. But for now, like you said, we're covering Jordan Peele. This is our final Jordan Peele movie that we have to cover before he releases his new one that's supposed to come out at the end of the year. I don't know if it got delayed or not. I think it
got
delayed. It might have gotten delayed, which is a bummer. But I'm also kind of happy because it was going to look like a pretty busy Christmas for us horror fans. I believe Nosferatu was coming out as well. So probably a good call. We have no idea what this new movie is going to be. There's been no leaks or anything, so who knows what type of movie it's going to be, like where it's going to fit seasonally. But all three movies of his I like a lot. We're obviously going to cover Nope. We, I think, have very different rankings, especially when it comes to Nope. So I guess we'll do a recap of his first two movies, and we'll give our scores for everyone, just so we can set the stage for this review. And then at the end, we'll announce our scores for Nope, and then I guess our ranking, which will be pretty obvious. But why don't we do it that way?
Okay.
Before we get into that, I guess we can announce the poll results from last episode. You won. I think I just checked it.
We have
it was
the
still
final
going.
number. Are you sure?
You want to double check real quick, but I believe you
check.
won. So thanks
Okay,
everyone for voting for the Never Split Up poll. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, let's get into it. So why don't you go over your two rankings first and just your overall thoughts of, I guess, the two movies that we've covered. And if you guys didn't listen to those episodes, definitely go back and listen to them. I thought they were really fun. I thought we covered Get Out pretty early on in our podcasting career. It was within the first few months, I believe, and we had a good time. And then we covered Us. Us was a really fun conversation talking about, thematic storytelling and stuff. So definitely check those out. But yeah, why don't you give us your scores real quick?
Okay, cool. Yeah, I believe Get Out was one of our first episodes on YouTube, so that was pretty cool. But I gave Get Out an 8.6. A very good score, great movie. I remember seeing it opening weekend, had a blast. I think that it blended the thematical elements, the themes, and the story and the horror the best out of the three movies. It felt like a movie before it felt like a message, I really appreciate that, because these days messages are way too heavy-handed in my opinion. So I loved Get Out. 8.6. That's not all-timer like a lot of people say it is to me, but I still love the movie. And then Us. Us is a special movie to me. And this is going to be hard. I don't know why I make everything hard for me, but I gave Us in our episode an 8.5. But I don't know, man. It's right there with Get Out. So I really don't know what to do. But Us, to me, it's his most horror movie of his trilogy of movies so far. It's most straightforward horror. It has slasher elements, obviously. If you guys have been listening to the podcast, I'm a slasher guy, and that movie has slasher elements. I think what Get Out does better than Us is that it handles the themes and the messages a little better. I think Us tends to get a tiny bit heavy-handed at times. But other than that, I mean, Us has my favorite sequence of all three of his movies. Lupita Nyong'o should have won an Oscar for that movie. It's a fucking blast of a movie. I love it so much. So again, even this little trilogy of ranking is not going to be easy for me. So, of course. So yeah, so Get Out 8.6 and Us 8.5. But, I mean, those two can flip-flop for me. So it's going to be interesting. What about you?
Yeah, man, Us is such a tough one to wrangle in and kind of conceptualize in terms of a score, because I'm right there with you. So I gave Get Out, we gave it the same score. I also gave it an 8.6.
Okay.
Very similar in terms of my overall thoughts. There's really nothing I can nitpick or critique about the movie. It's such a solid movie. It's super intense. I remember seeing it the first time I saw it. I was just blown away. The twist is really fun. It's not an all-timer for me because it's not super rewatchable for me. I mean, once you've seen it once or twice and you kind of know how it's going to play out, it doesn't really lend itself to being super rewatchable, at least in my eyes. So that's why it's not in that all-timer range for me. But yeah, super, super solid movie, super intense. The themes were intertwined perfectly, like you said. Us, on the other hand, I gave it a little bit lower score than you. I gave it an 8.0. Still really good. I really tackle it with those things that you said too. And again, guys, we really had a good discussion of this when we did our full review of Us. But I think the storytelling bothered me a tiny bit more than it bothered you. Maybe that's why my score's a little bit lower. I'm a slasher guy too, so I like those elements. It has some really memorable sequences, but outside of those sequences, the rest of the movie and how it's intertwined is kind of lost, and it's almost forgettable to me. But yeah, it's a super solid movie. It's got great humor, and you could tell he had a really fun time making it. Some of the performances, like you said, were incredible too. So yeah, 8.6 for Get Out, and then 8.0 for Us. And that leads us to Nope. You said you're gonna have a hard time with those two, but Nope. For me, if you guys listen to the podcast, you know it's a special movie for me. It was my number one movie of the year in 2022, not just horror, just in general. So I'm going to give this a pretty high score. Anthony, again, if you've listened, you know he's not as high on it. But I don't really know quite where you land on it. I mean, the last time we really talked about this movie, I think you said you had only seen it once in theaters and you haven't given it any rewatches. So I'm really curious to see kind of where you land with it now that you've explored it a little bit more. So I want to get into your overall thoughts first, but why don't you cover the cast and crew and talk about that real quick?
All right, I'll give you guys the IMDb synopsis. The residents of a lonely gulch in inland California bear witness to an uncanny and chilling discovery. All right, that's a weird synopsis. The director's Jordan Peele. Obviously, he wrote it too. And it stars Daniel Kaluuya returning to Jordan Peele after Get Out. Kiki Palmer, Brandon Pereira. Who else we got? Michael Winka is the cinematographer, filmmaker, and Stephen Yeun is in it as well. Keith David has a nice cameo in the beginning. So that's most of our cast right there. And it's Jordan Peele's third directorial movie, and he's sticking with the horror genre, which I appreciate. And this movie had the biggest budget of his three movies, $68 million compared to Get Out, which I think had $4 million, and Us had a $20 million budget. So they really upped his budget for this third movie, and it did really well. Made over $170 million. The lowest grossing of the three, but it's still a huge success. So Jordan Peele's on a roll. Yeah,
for sure. And at least for me, you can tell where that budget went into. You can tell that this was definitely a higher budget than the other two movies for sure. Okay, let me hear. Let's let you go first. Let me hear your overall thoughts on this. I'm super anxious to hear these.
Okay, so as you said in the beginning, 2 minutes ago, I only watched this movie once, before tackling it again for this episode, and that might be a little telling that I didn't go back to it sooner. I'm a completist, so I was going to buy the movie regardless because I wanted all of Jordan Peele's movies, but I had to literally unwrap it to watch it again. So that could be a little telling. And you know what? I watched it, and it's fine. It's fine. It's not my cup of tea. It's a fine movie. It's technically a very well-made movie. I know you were just talking about the budget. It's very well shot, and the cinematography is beautiful. I will give it that 100%. But I find it a little boring. It's a 2 hour and 10-minute movie, and I think that there's a really good 90-minute movie somewhere in there.
Ooh, okay.
I appreciate the commentary. We're talking about Jordan Peele. Obviously, Get Out and Us had commentary, and that's no different with Us. I like what he was trying to say about humans and their addiction to spectacle, and I appreciate his comments and the commentary on animal abuse and animal abuse in the entertainment industry. And obviously, animals are not just for our entertainment, but I don't like seeing animals in peril. And the first half of this movie is about every night watching a different horse going to its death. So, you know, that's not my go-to thing. I appreciate what he's trying to say. I think that the leads are very good. You know, Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer. You know, Daniel Kaluuya is good. He was obviously a boss in Get Out, so obviously this is not comparable. Keke Palmer was very good as well. I think her character was a little over the top sometimes. But she was a great actress. And I think that Brandon Pereira, the guy who works at like I'm going to call it the Best Buy type store, I thought he was a scene stealer. He cracked me up a little bit. And I think that the movie doesn't take advantage of being a horror movie as much as it should. I think there's 2 to 3 really well choreographed horror set pieces, which we'll get into when we get into the movie, but there's not enough horror. And it's also more sci-fi twist to it, and that's not my go-to, as we all know. You know, it's kind of an alien type movie. And Steven Yeun is in this movie, but I think he's pretty much wasted. His talents are wasted. I think he doesn't get enough screen time in the movie. And there's a scene in the movie, which, again, I will get into it when we get into the movie. That scene is what I wanted the whole movie to be, and we'll get to it when we get there. But overall, I think that there's a really good movie somewhere in there, but when I watch it, it's a technical good movie, but it's not a movie I'm going to go back to, and the storytelling doesn't pull me in as much. So unfortunately, I mean, you could tell this is my least favorite Jordan Peele movie. It's fine. It's fine. It's not rewatchable for me, though, that much. So, your turn. I'm the Debbie Downer. You could bring it up now.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. So, okay. This is almost going to be a reverse of last episode because, guys, I love this movie so much. That was a lot to unpack. Your initial thoughts, you highlighted on a lot, and I'm definitely not going to touch on all of that right away. So
yeah, we'll get into it.
We'll kind of get into it when we get into the review. But honestly, just my initial reaction is I was surprised when I saw this movie and I heard your thoughts, and I'm even more surprised now that you didn't come around to it. I know you're not just a horror guy. I know you like multiple genres. I know, but I also know you're not a big sci-fi guy. I don't look at this movie as super sci-fi. I mean, spoilers ahead, guys, obviously, but you know, right. Jean Jacket isn't an alien. It's more of it's a creature. It could be extraterrestrial. They don't really get into it that much, but I feel like it's more of a. I mean, I'll just quote Jordan Peele. He wanted to create Jaws in the sky. It's got more of those feelings than it does sci-fi. So I'm surprised that you are You said it's fine, but you're pretty down on this and how it incorporates the different genres. I thought you would come around on that a bit more, but okay, we'll get to that. My initial thoughts is, like I said, it's a genre-bending masterpiece. It's Jordan Peele's best movie, in my opinion.
Oh,
yes, masterpiece, and I do not say that lightly. You know that, Anthony. I do not use that word lightly. It has great characters. You kind of critiqued Keke Palmer. I think she is a tour de force in this movie. She is so infectious. I can't take my eyes off the screen whenever she's on it. I agree with you. What's his name? Brandon Pereira, who plays Angel. Yeah. He's a character that you see him at first when he's in the store and he's like making fun of him, telling him how batteries work and stuff. You think you're not going to like him, but he fits. By the end of the movie, he is part of the crew, and he fits so well. He does such a good job. Daniel Kaluuya, he does exactly what's needed from the role. Like you said, it's not as... He doesn't need as much acting prowess as he did in Get Out, but I think he's great in this movie, and he plays off Keke Palmer so well. This movie is just, for me, it's I'm on the edge of my seat. It's a thrill ride that has me pumping my fist by the end of the movie. It is so rewatchable. I feel like I can turn this on once a week and just be in Haywood Ranch, and just, it's such a comfy setting to me. I don't know why. It clicks with me so much. I do like the important themes and the messages. Like I said, it's tackles a few different genres. It's a horror, it's a Western, it does have some sci-fi. It's a bit of an adventure movie. It's got comedy. It's a survival, and it's an epic movie. It's on that epic scale for me. And like I said, the set pieces are incredible. Jean Jacket is such a unique villain. You know, I'm a villain guy. And the cinematography, dude, Hoyt van Hoytema killed it in this movie. He, for at least in the horror genre, it might be one of, if not my favorite looking movies cinematography-wise in the past decade at least. Maybe even in the 2000s. It is so beautiful. And I was so excited to get it on 4K for Christmas, finally. And seeing it in 4K just kind of elevated. Because if you remember, I did not see this movie in theaters. I missed out on this movie. That. Yeah.
I saw it in IMAX just to give a comparison to your experience in mine.
Yeah. So I really hope eventually it comes back to theaters, because that would be amazing to see, because now it's like one of my favorite films in recent years. But yeah, I didn't see it in theaters, so seeing it in the 4K for the first time was really special, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I love this movie so much, and I can't wait to get into this and kind of go back and forth with you, because it seems like our scores are going to be pretty different for this one.
Yeah. You think it's a masterpiece?
Yep.
All right, so I'll let you take the lead on like guiding us through, but yeah, this is going to be fun because it's going to be the reverse of last week or last episode, 100%.
Yeah. You're going to finally be the nitpicker this time, I feel like. So it feels good to be on the other end.
So you think it's very rewatchable? Okay.
Yes, it is. And you said, you did comment that it's a little too long and it could be a good 90-minute movie. I disagree completely. I think the reason I use the term epic is because it has that 2 hour and 10-minute runtime. And I think it needs every bit of it, because it makes that payoff that much greater. And I don't think it drags. I think there is some time where it kind of breathes a bit, especially after like the beginning of the beginning of the third act. But I think that's completely necessary, and we'll get into that when we get there. But I think it really helps with the pacing a lot, and I don't think it's too long at all. So, what did you think of the opening scene? I know you're a big opening scene guy, big title card guy. I think it was a great way to kind of set up that just creepy, chilling vibe. We get the Gordy opening scene. You get the audio at first, so you don't see anything, and then it cuts to, Gordy and the shoe. It's so chilling. What did you think about that?
I mean, I'm fucking Team Gordy all the way. But yeah, I do like the opening, that it doesn't show us anything. We just hear. I think that's probably one of the more chilling parts of the movie, just in the opening in general. I have no problem with the opening. I like his little quote in the beginning that Jordan Peele has on there. I forget what it exactly says. But yeah, I have no problems with the opening. I mean, it's not something that stands out to me a lot, but I like it. Yeah, it's one of the better parts of the movie for me.
It doesn't give you much, but it sets that eerie tone, I think, especially for the first act, and it gets you unsettled. And it helps with later scenes. And speaking of later scenes, first we cut to the First we cut to the Haywood Ranch, after the title card and stuff. And I love that opening shot of seeing the farmhouse, the ranch house was awesome. Great shot. Again, the cinematography is great. I'm going to rave about it the whole episode. But yeah, shout out to Keith David. We get a little Keith David performance, and he plays Otis Sr. He has such a presence in such a short amount of time in this movie. He really commands the screen, and it really pays off later when you hear about his children talking about him. You really can refer back to this scene, and you can hear his voice. And he does there is a couple flashbacks where he's talking to OJ and stuff, but other than that, he's pretty much in this scene. But he does a really good job for the limited amount of screen time that he has. He's such a legendary actor, a legendary voice. I love him so much.
Well, he's a great character actor, for sure.
Yeah.
But you say the opening creates the eerie vibe and sets that tone, and I agree. But I feel like the movie doesn't sustain that eerie tone at all.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think it's more of an underlying tone. So when we get into some of these scenes, it forces you. It doesn't force you, but it what's the word I'm looking for? It encourages the audience to lean on one side that the director wants to. And my first example would be when we get to the commercial, the set where OJ is on the set with the horse, and
poor horse.
It's a Hollywood set. There's a lot of things going on. OJ is clearly uncomfortable. They're trying to get him to do the safety briefing, and he's waiting for his sister. You kind of feel that anxiety that OJ is really not in his element. But again, that opening scene, it amplifies this scene because you instinctively are on OJ's side when he says we need a break, because you just watched a monkey or listened to a monkey, go, for lack of a better term, ape shit on people. But
deservedly
so. you kind of like, oh shit, what's about to go down? You kind of feel something's about to happen. What, I don't know. I just feel like it's a good underlying tone that this scene would, if it played out without the opening scene, it would just be a normal scene. But because we got that opening Gordy scene, it kind of makes these other scenes that much more intense.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I like that OJ, his name's OJ, I like that he's saying that they need a break because obviously the horse is also on edge in that moment. But I'm also on the other side of my head, I'm these leads, I'm not rooting for them as much because they're using their horses to make the money. They're part of the spectacle. And I know that's part of Jordan Peele's commentary, but they're feeding into it as well. So I'm trying to connect with them, and I'm not really connecting with them at all in this opening. Okay. But I do like that he's on edge as well. Obviously, she's the voice. Obviously, I just said in the beginning how she gets a little over the top. She is 100% the voice, and I do like Keke Palmer's monologue. When she walks in, it's pretty funny. When she talks about the history and all that, she nails that. But you can tell he's the business guy. He brings it in. He's doing everything. But she's the talker. So I like that you can tell that he's uncomfortable in that situation along with the horse. I think that's cool. But yeah, I don't feel as bad for them, or I don't connect with them as much as I think.
I think you didn't. So you think they're part of the problem?
Yeah, they're
in a
part
way,
of the spectacle. And that's the whole theme of the movie. They want to catch the spectacle. They want to they want a spectacle with Jean Jacket too.
Yeah, but they do. They don't. To me, they're the good guys because they don't do what others do. And he even comments that his father, Otis Sr., changed the industry. I mean, he does it the right way, it seems like. So I'm having a hard time getting to where you're at. I consider them the good guys.
Well, they are. They're the protagonists of the movie, but it's just I wish I connected with them more.
Huh. Okay. That's very interesting.
I connect with him once he saves Lucky, like, after halfway through the movie. Well, he doesn't really save him when he gets knocked out, but he's trying to save Lucky.
Yeah.
After after that one scene, we'll get there. But that's when I'm like, okay, he's a good guy. But it takes me a bit
Yeah.
because he's like, they don't react to their horses dying that much. I'd be like fucking having an emotional breakdown.
Well, I mean, they don't. We don't ever see a horse being sucked
He
up.
sees the dog. Well, we do see it once. We do see the horse. What's the second horse's name? Clover. We see Clover get sucked up.
Yeah, but they're not really aware of what's going on. I mean, he sees until that Lucky scene, and we'll get there. I mean, it's not like he's willingly selling these horses. Like, he has a plan to buy them back. He doesn't know that they're being sacrificed. You know?
Yeah, but the first night when Ghost gets taken, he's like, I've never heard a scream like that. It's just like, all right, let's move on. I'm like, you're fucking horse. Obviously something terrible happened. And they're just like, okay. Like, where's the reaction? I'd be beside myself.
Well, they're not.
Like,
I guess what you're getting at is they're not pets. They run a working horse farm and a ranch. So, I mean, I hate to use the word desensitized, but you know, I see what you're saying.
They're part of the industry. They're part of the problem a little bit. Yeah, that's their business, but they're feeding into the spectacle. I mean, I don't not like them. You know what I mean? I have problems connecting with them off the bat until like the third. Like, I connect with them after the second act, but it takes me a long time to get there.
Okay.
And that's not performance-wise. It's just literally, I think, the writing and like the way the movie plays out.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. I think I know what you're trying to say now. I obviously don't connect with them right away, and nor are you supposed to. I mean, that would be pretty unrealistic for Jordan Peele to expect an audience to connect with characters from the opening scene. But I guess my point is you're kind of on OJ's side when he's telling them to slow down, we need to take a break, like, let's do this safely. And because in comparison, you know, the director and the guy who's running the show, and then the actress, I mean, they're so full of themselves in their own world. They don't give a fuck.
He's trying to be
responsible
at all. He's trying to be as responsible as he can be in that scene.
Yeah, for sure. And I love the scene where he's getting fired, and in the background they're rolling in the CGI horse into the studio.
Yeah.
It's fucking
which
great.
is true to life in real, which it probably definitely happens in real life.
Yeah, I love that so much. It's so funny. There's little moments in this movie that are really funny to me that if you pay close attention to. But yeah, I thought this was an awesome opening scene for Keke Palmer's character Emerald. It's a good dichotomy between the two of them. Clearly, she's the voice. But she has other priorities, right? She said this is her side gig. This isn't her main gig. So she wants, you know, the stardom and the fame. She's trying to break it into the industry on her own. So I thought that was pretty funny. And they explore that more when they talk about their father later on. I think, what do you think about
the father's death? We didn't even comment on the father's death in the opening.
Yeah, so again, we get the opening Gordy scene, which is super creepy, and then we cut right to that scene, and I thought that scene was pretty freaking... I remember the scene the first time, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And you see him fall off the horse, and then you see him on the autopsy table or whatever with his eye fucking gouged out, and you see the coin and the x-ray. Oh, man, I had no idea what the hell was going on. Yeah.
I like how the horse just kind of like starts trotting and his head's down. I do like I really like that a lot because I like the way that plays. I'm like, oh, this is what I want this movie to be, like the mystery, and then it kind of like but I love that so much when he's just trotting and the head's down. And then obviously Daniel Kaluuya finds him. They cut to the the morgue, whatever, seeing him laying there. I do like that a lot. I just wish that was. I was like, oh, this movie had so much potential, but I do love his death. It's pretty sweet. So obviously the brother and sister, it's going to be them for the rest of the movie. They go back to the house. And I do like the location. Like you mentioned earlier, you liked that setting. I do like it too. I just thought that there was so much more room for the isolation. They're isolated, but it's also such an open area. So I think it had so much potential for so many cool, suspenseful scenes. And in my opinion, we don't get that much suspense in the movie.
Really? Okay. That's interesting. So, Real quick, what I was going to say was, what do you think overall, now that we were introduced to our two mains, what do you think of their relationship on screen?
I think
Does it
I
work
think
for you?
they definitely have chemistry, the two of them, 100%.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, I don't love their characters right away, but I will say them two, they vibe off each other well. Yeah,
Okay.
they're both good actors delivering good stuff. So I like them. What about you?
Okay. Yeah, I fucking love them. They're the heart and soul of the movie. Again, it's going to be a disconnect because you don't think this movie's super rewatchable. I think it is, and I think they're one of the reasons it is. So I watched this I just watched it for the episode. It was either my fourth or fifth time watching it, probably fifth time watching it. I lose track, and I still pick up on little things here and there, and that's what makes a great movie. So, and one of those is little, wrinkles in their relationship. It's so fun. So before we get to the house, we get introduced to Jupiter's claim because he's going to talk to Stephen Young's character. His name's Ricky, but we'll call him Jupe because that's what he is referred to. That's kind of his nickname. He goes and he sees Jupe, and I love this scene too. I mean, I love every scene. You're going to hear me say that a lot, but this scene is really cool, and I think Stephen Yeun is a really great actor, and this kind of highlights that. So once you find out that he was part of the Gordy show,
The
sitcom, because Kiki Palmer's asking him questions about it and stuff, the way he delivers these lines so nonchalantly about like what's going on, and again, because we get that opening, we go back to the opening scene. Movies don't do this very often, where we just are just transported back to that opening scene, and it's so creepy, dude. I love his performance in this scene. It's so effective when he's showing her the museum and stuff. It's so fucking cool. And then I believe there's a quick flash to him as a kid under the table. Yeah, a quick one. And he's all bloody in his face, and you're like, what the fuck? And then it cuts back to him again. Oh, so well done. I love it so much.
But we needed more of him in this movie, but it's important because obviously it shows it's a part of his theme about spectacle. He's exploiting that traumatic experience for a living. That's the whole point, obviously, that Jordan Peele's trying to make with that, is he's using what
he
happened
clearly
to him.
didn't deal with the trauma he faced, and he's kind of, I guess, continuing the cycle.
He's trying to ride the coattails of that trauma for his whole life,
because he never really fully dealt with it, so he kind of compartmentalizes it, and you can tell that he's not quite right, but
no, he's
I know you hate him. I'm surprised he's not higher up on your villain rankings.
But I hate the character. But Stephen Yeun, obviously that's we're meant to. But he's not. He doesn't have that much screen time in this movie. He really needed a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, but you're also saying the movie could have been 90 minutes, so it's like you're kind of flip flopping.
There's a lot. There's a lot that can be cut out. I mean, yeah, the Stephen Yeun. If you're gonna have him in the movie, have him in the fucking movie.
Do you think he should have just maybe lived until the climax of the movie in the end, or?
I think he could have got a more upfront and personal death.
Upfront and personal. It's the most memorable part of the movie.
Well,
what are you talking about?
I wanted him to get a singular, a really fucking singular. He's grouped in with
what? Okay.
Everybody in that scene.
I mean, the shot with
that's my second favorite.
Falling off. I mean, how is that not more singular?
That's literally my second favorite. Or that's one of the best scenes of the movie. It's one of the only horror scenes in the movie. And
you keep saying that. Okay. All right. All right, let's move on. Because the entire second act is just pure terror to me. And it's
pure terror?
It's sequence after sequence, dude. This movie is so chilling. I guess you didn't get that from this movie.
There are two really awesome horror sequences. And then everything else, it's like, I want that. I want that. Where is the rest of that?
Yeah. So it really takes you out of it. It sounds like when there isn't those horror sequences, you can't get on board.
I mean,
with the other
obviously, I
stuff.
know it can't be non-stop horror sequence.
No, I know.
Every
Yeah.
movie we talk, but there's not enough of it, and I feel like he's trying to like have his cake and eat it too. With like, it's a horror movie, but it's not. A little pretentious.
Wow.
A little pretentious.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into pretentious territory. Holy
I'm going a little
shit.
in on Nope and Jordan
Holy
Peele.
shit, dude! This is a
But
horror
let's keep.
movie.
I want to
I
try to
don't
stay
like-
in order. No,
Okay.
it's a horror movie.
Holy shit, dude!
It is
Okay.
a horror movie.
This
but
is crazy. I'm sorry, guys. I've never heard Anthony talk about a movie like this. This is like shocking to me, and the fact that I love it. This is great. This is great.
Well,
Okay.
you know what? I was so hyped for this movie. Then you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Like I love Jordan Peele. Obviously, we talked about his other two movies, and I loved those two movies. So I was expecting a lot from Nope. So I did go in with high expectations to this movie as well.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I hoped you would come around on this movie on your second watch, because I know you were super hyped for the movie and you were expecting just a full out like horror slasher or whatever. I don't know what you were expecting, because this is a full out horror movie for me. I think it blends other genres, but so I was hoping that knowing what the movie was, you would kind of appreciate it more the second time. Did your score go up a little bit from the first watch, or are you kind of firm in how you feel?
It didn't go up at all. If
Okay.
anything, it solidified my feelings
Okay.
from the first watch. And like I said,
That's
technically,
disappointing. Yeah.
technically, no one's gonna. There's not one person who can say technically this movie is not a good movie. Like, it's well shot and well made. It's just when you get into the story and you get into the pieces of it,
Yeah.
it's not for me.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm just trying to kind of dissect what you're feeling here. But see, because I think it's his best written movie as well. I think it's a better written movie
Really?
than Get Out. Yeah, I think the writing is fucking
Then Get Out.
genius.
It's better
There-
written than Get Out.
Yes, I do. I think it's a bigger scope. I think Get Out was
Well,
was really
there's
good.
no doubt about that. There's
Yeah,
no
but
doubt
I
about
think
that. It's
he's
a bigger
able.
scope.
The fact that it's a bigger scope and he's able to nail it. I mean, there's so many things in my third and fourth time watching this movie that I picked up on that I'm like, oh, that's why he did that, and that's why this happened. I think it's a really bulletproof script for sure.
Okay.
So, okay, so yeah, we get back to the Haywood Ranch. They have this cool little scene where, I think he says he has a lot of work to do. OJ's like, I'm going to go to bed. And she's like, what, you're not going to raid Pop's liquor cabinet with me? And
That's
he's
what
like,
I
yeah.
relate to her so much in that moment. She's like, let's
Yeah.
fucking drink. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. And he's
Let's
like,
have
all
some
right,
fun.
I'll get the weed. So they're drinking, smoking weed. I thought that was really funny.
Let's
really
just
fun
mention
moment.
that every night starts with a fucking name of a poor horse, who I'm like, obviously there's a trend in this. So the first night's Ghost. This is when they're drinking and smoking weed, trying to have fun. And
Mhm.
poor Ghost. And Ghost screams. Ugh. Not what I want to be watching, but yeah. So
Yeah.
this is how it starts.
So part of the, I put this in my notes. Part of the reason that this movie is really rewatchable for me, and especially going back to these earlier scenes, this first night when OJ is outside, I'm like always scanning the skyline. I'm always looking in the sky to try to see if I can see Jean Jacket somewhere in the background. And like you said, this is the ghost sequence when he jumps the fence and takes off. I love this part because I think I relate to OJ a lot, the way I process things, and especially crises. I'm a very calm and collected dude, and OJ like doesn't
He has
react
no
at
reaction.
all. He has no
I hate
reaction.
it.
He just really, I think it's fucking great because it's how I would react. I mean, what is he gonna do? Like scream and run after a horse? The horse is running full speeds. He just assesses the situation and he's like, all right, this is happening. Like, what do I need to do to get this horse back? And I think that's a really cool trait to see that, especially as a leading man in a horror movie. Nonetheless, usually you'll see your leads kind of overreact to things. So I kind of appreciate that OJ does that. He kind of is similar to me in certain situations. So I like that a lot. So I guess it doesn't work for you, but another example that it works for me.
Yeah, there's no
And-
emotion. And I mean, I would personally be having a full-on emotional breakdown if I heard that noise from my horse or whatever.
Well, I'm talking about when the horse jumps the fence and he takes off.
Rents. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
So,
be
I mean-
sprinting. I'd be like, oh my god, what the fuck? Sprint.
Yeah.
Try
Okay.
again. But I will say,
yes.
that same thing. I love the one. I'll give it credit. I love when like the electricity's like fluctuating and it goes silent. Sound design, beautiful, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so
You can
we
keep going. I
get
just wanted to mention
Emerald.
that, yeah.
No, it's cool. No, that's a good highlight. You get Emerald kind of dancing. I forget what song is playing, but she's dancing in the house, and it kind of just goes quiet. And
Yeah.
you're like, what the fuck is that? And you notice when their father died, the same thing happened. All their equipment stopped working. So you're starting to connect the dots a little bit, like what's going on. And this is when we get our first glimpse of Jean Jacket. We get a quick little glimpse. Our main protagonist, OJ, he kind of sees it super quick in between the clouds. It looks like a prototypical flying saucer UFO.
UFO,
it's
yeah.
like a pretty like universal look that holy shit, that's fucking aliens, that's a UFO. So he doesn't quite know how to process it because I believe he's getting questioned by Emerald a little bit later, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck it was. It was big and it was fast. I don't know what I saw.
It was fucking high, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. And, just to wrap up this night, one of my favorite, I talk about the writing, one of my favorite lines of the movie is when they're sitting on the porch and she's asking him about what went down with Ghost and stuff. And he just goes to her, what's a bad miracle? They got a word for that? And she's like, I don't know. Like, I love that line so much.
I hate that. It's not a miracle.
Huh? Do you not get
It's
the
not a
line?
miracle.
It's a
I
bad
get the
miracle.
line.
He's asking, like, what is there a word for a bad miracle?
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
You like that line?
Oh yeah, it's a through line throughout the entire movie. You can place it throughout the entire movie. It's so, the shoe and stuff, like it's so brilliant. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Dude, what is going on?
It's not for me.
Oh my god, this is crazy. I never thought I'd be like so opposite of you. Because there are movies that we've covered so far where like you have problems with the movie, but usually I have similar problems. So this is really the first movie where I'm like just gushing about it and you're just sitting there like scrunching your nose. It's usually the other way around, so I'm just like shell-shocked right now.
I know. I mean, I went into it with the best intentions to, see if I could love this movie, but it just doesn't work for me all that much.
All right, so let's keep moving forward. So anyway, they get to the tech store, and that's when they meet Angel.
Oh,
and
love him.
Yeah, this is you don't love him right away though because he's kind of a prick, and you kind of understand him if you ever worked in retail. But then when he starts kind of like patronizing them like they're stupid, he's like, that's not how batteries work. Batteries don't just die. You're like, all right, dude, like just tone it down a little bit. Like, he must have had a long day.
He did because he just got broken up with. It's so funny.
Yeah, I know. He really does grow on me, and he fits so well with this little trio. I think he brought a lot to the table, and it's probably one of those characters when Jordan Peele wrote it, he didn't expect the performance that he got, but I think what's his name, Brandon Pereira, really elevated that character, and
100%.
he really did a good job for sure. I'll agree with you there. And
he definitely kept me invested. He was funny, and he did blend. I will agree with you. Like like they all blended well together. Their interactions. I really think I'm thankful that he was brought into the movie.
I'm glad that you said that, and he really grows. Like his relationship really grows. We'll get to it after the second act when they're he's in the house with Emerald.
I love it.
Him and Emerald's relationship switch after that because they both survived that event. And she's giving him like fist pumps and stuff. It's fucking great. I love their relationship together. But the horse decoy scene, that was a lot of fun. I with Stephen Young again. You don't think he's catching on that she stole the horses, but you see in the next scene that he definitely fucking knows. He just played it off.
Yep.
I fucking love that.
I want to talk about the second horse night. I think the next one is Clover. Because it has a scene that I wish the whole movie was, that I think it's the most suspenseful scene in the movie that turns out to be a fucking prank.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So it's so they got the kid. We went to the store. Obviously, they met with Brandon Pereira, his character, and they're getting cameras because they decide they want to record what's going on. They want to see what's going on, so they set up cameras and shit. So that's important, obviously. But the second night is they label it Clover, which is another poor horse that's gonna have to go through. We're gonna have to watch another horse get taken or whatever, be in trauma. But I love when OJ hears noises and goes to the barn. And you look up, and I'm like, this is terrifying. This is what I want. I'm like, yes, the movie is coming to life right now. You see, like, there's a figure, but you don't see anything at first, and then it kind of like comes up, and you see the eyes. And this is my favorite nope delivery in the movie. He just goes, nope. I'm like, that's the best nope delivery of the entire movie. Like that scene. I
disagree.
I agree. Like that's a fucking nope. I know Keke Palmer has another one. But,
both
he
my
has
top
another
two.
One too.
My top two are OJ. That's my second favorite. I will say.
Okay, but this one, no, I'm like, yeah, dude, nope, 100% nope. But then it's like it's so good, and then I love it. The thing pops out again. He punches it, and it's fucking kids playing a prank. I'm like, God damn it, this is the Alien. This is the movie I fucking wanted, and it just like crushed right there. I'm like, so suspenseful, and then it's just like not. It's just a prank. That to me is the most suspenseful scene in the entire movie, and it turns out to be a prank with kids. I wanted that movie so bad.
Instead of just enjoying the scene for what it is, you're taking it as
I did enjoy it.
I love this scene too. But
it's a negative because I wanted the rest of the movie to be that suspenseful, and I wanted that movie.
Oh my God, I don't know how you don't get suspense from like the Gordy flashbacks and stuff. I mean, holy shit, that shit was so chilling. And creepy.
I mean, that scene is one of it's one of the top 3 scenes of the movie, the Gordy scene. And
yeah.
Well, we didn't get the other 2 scenes yet, but I have 3 top scenes, and this scene is like I wanted this kind of vibe for the entire movie. I don't know if you know what I mean by that with the aliens, like
no, I know what you mean.
Around,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what potential. And then it just squashed right there. Cool scene that squashed at the end.
It's just the movie's just not what you want, and it's never going to be that. Yeah. So I hope you eventually come to terms with it.
It has a lot more adventure. It's more of an adventure movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just doesn't work for you, and that's fine, I totally get what you mean.
Too, right?
Oh, yeah, I love the scene. Yeah. I totally get what you mean. It's super intense. It's super awesome, and the first time I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? It was cool, but I love it. The 4th time around, I watched it too, so I don't have anything negative to say about it. I think it fits with the movie. And then the fact that it was a prank, I think it fits within the movie too, like the rest of the movie. It's just the movie is not what you want it to be, so you're clinging to certain sequences that you wish it had more of, instead of just kind of enjoying the ride.
It's just because those sequences are so good. I'm like, why is this not the vibe that he took with the movie? But it is what it is. It's the movie we got. I can't wait to get to the Gordy scene because I have it's so vicious, and I'm like, damn, because Peele has the chops to make like this could have been an all-timer UFO movie. I know it is for you, but it could have been an all-timer UFO movie for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's keep going. Oh, they do try to make a phone call to a cinematographer after that they really want to start recording this, and they want to make a spectacle out of it. They decide, they can sell it and make some, they want to make money off it. They want to make it a spectacle off of what's going on, because they obviously know that I think he did get a glimpse of it that night, because that's when Clover was taken and he saw Clover go up. He saw a UFO, OJ, that night. He kind of saw it in the sky. So they know something fucking sketchy is going on.
Yeah.
So they do make the call to that cinematographer, Antlers, Holes, whatever the fuck he is, asshole.
Yeah, he's
talk about a pretentious
he's something
character.
Else, right? At the ending, oh my gosh, you're like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they call Antlers. This is So, okay. So I see. Yeah. So they have their first encounter this night with Clover with the cameras. They get their first real encounter. And that's when, what's his name? That's when Angel is at the store.
I love when he's calling from. I love that he's calls from the store. It's like,
yeah. With the praying mantis is on the camera. That whole sequence is funny as hell. She's throwing candy.
Yeah, that was
at
cute.
It.
That was cute. Yeah.
But camera B goes down. So now, once he sees that, Angel is like, "Oh shit, something's going on," because he knows that those cameras have battery backup, and he's like, "Oh, I guess they weren't lying to me. I guess the batteries are really dying. What the fuck's going on here?" So, and I just love how after that first night, Angel is like all on board with them. He's just like,
I'm like, he's such a good employee. Like going. I love that. He really brings the movie together for me if it's going to be brought together.
Yeah.
He really does.
Yeah. He's not on the clock, though, with all the rest of this shit. He's doing this because he wants to capture the UFO as well. I mean, it's
well, they all want to be part of the spectacle in the end.
Yeah, you keep saying spectacle. I resent that term. I don't think they're trying to do a spectacle. They're just trying to get evidence of a UFO. I don't think that's a spectacle.
For their benefit.
What June is trying to do is a spectacle by profiting off of shows where, I mean, that's 100%. A spectacle. I don't know. I feel like they're just trying to.
I can't wait to
get some proof.
Well, he's obviously way worse.
So we didn't touch on this. I mean, we know their circumstances, right? I mean, their father dies, leaves them this ranch, and they're struggling. I mean, it's not like he wanted to sell these horses. I mean, he wanted to have a successful business and continue the legacy. He refuses to sell the ranch because he feels like he's,
right, so
ending an era and he doesn't want to move on. Yeah, so they are in dire straits. They really need finances. So you can understand why they want to capture this UFO and, make history. It's kind of makes sense. It's not like they're not struggling. So
as bait.
I don't think they ever do, but we'll get into that. I think Lucky was in good hands, but
I love Lucky.
Lucky, my boy. Is it a boy or a girl? I'm not sure if it's a boy.
I have no idea.
He probably says it at one point, but
he says like, "Come here, boy, let's go, boy," or something. At some point in the movie,
I think maybe it's a boy. Yeah. So anyway, they call Antlers, and he kind of just like, he's like, "Why the fuck you calling me?" Like, impossible shot. Like, give it up. This is a wild goose chase. I've been trying to get a shot like that my entire life. Like, stop calling me, pretty much. And he hangs up on him. And this is the scene where Angel comes back to the ranch. Like I said, he's like, I guess he stayed up all night reviewing this footage because he says that he found something in the footage, and he shows them the standing cloud, the cloud that's not moving.
Right.
And this is like the first
this hiding spot.
This is the first what the fuck moment, especially for Emerald. You see her looking at the screen, and she's like, "What am I seeing right now?" And I believe she's the one who says, "That's it, we got it. Like, we got evidence." And the other two are like, "No, that could easily be, refuted as some crazy weather phenomenon." So, okay, here we go. Let's get to the Gordy sitcom scene now.
Okay, finally. Okay.
Okay,
I will
so
say I
you
love
mentioned
that Emerald.
before.
I love that Emerald doesn't she's fine with leaving it there. She doesn't want to continue in the fuck with it. I did connect with her more in that moment because she was freaked out after the Clover night. So I did connect with her a little bit. She didn't want to keep going and going, but just like, we got to keep going. We got to capture this. We got to make that money. So I do start to connect with Emerald before I connect with OJ. I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
But let's get to this Gordy scene all full in. So well shot. So
you mentioned that the prank scene was your most intense scene, right? Was your favorite scene?
Suspenseful, the suspense. I knew this was a flashback, so obviously it's a chilling scene, but I know that it's not gonna, have too many repercussions on our main characters going forward.
Well, you said that there was one other scene in the movie. Is this that scene?
There's 3 horror scenes that are great, not including the prank scene, because it ends up being there's 3 horror scenes that I really love, and this is one of them.
Okay.
The Gordy scene.
See, to me, there's 4 or 5 that I really love, but okay.
Oh, okay. There's 3, yeah.
Okay.
So but obviously the Gordy scene is it's blood and violence, and it's awesome.
I don't know I don't know about you, but that scene is so chilling and it makes my heart race. There's something about Gordy, who's a monkey, some I don't know what type of monkey, but in that scenario, knowing how powerful they are, seeing real life stories, I don't know. I just get such an uneasy feeling whenever I watch that scene, and it's so chilling. It's creepy because it's like you're watching an actual outtake of like an old sitcom. It's filmed so well, and I don't know who does the. There was an actor who played Gordy.
Oh,
props
really?
to him. Yeah, he was in a full motion capture suit.
Oh,
and
cool.
that was all of his movements. I don't know. I guess you didn't watch any of the behind...
Terry Notary.
Yes, I think that's him. Yes, Terry Notary. I watched the behind the scenes, all the bonus stuff on the 4K, and it shows the behind the scenes for that scene.
Oh, cool.
And you can watch the entire scene play out with Terry instead of Gory, and he's on like little stilts so he can walk like a monkey and stuff. It's really cool to see. But he does a great job of kind of acting like a monkey and stuff.
Made, dude.
I know. Really cool. Dude, some of the practical effects, all the practical effects they did with the blood rain and with inside Jean Jacket is so cool to watch. So I think you should check that out. Maybe it'll give you a little more appreciation for some of the effects. But yeah, so we get the scene play out, and it's super eerie because, again, we get that opening scene. So we know something's going to go down. We know it's about to happen. And you get this super happy sitcom, and it's like, oh, Gordy, open your present. And you're like, oh, my God, what's going to happen? And then the balloon pops. And you're like, oh, fuck. But it cuts. Dude, it's fucking brilliant. It cuts to like a backstage shot. Yeah. And it's like after the mayhem. And you hear something, but you don't know what's going on. And it's like you're walking from backstage, the camera is, and it's coming around the corner, and then you see Gordy just fucking wailing. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so creepy.
So Team Gordy in this scenario, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think everyone is. I mean,
you don't fucking have this chimp or whatever, chimp, monkey, whatever, like on a live sitcom taping. You know, you're abusing the animal pretty much. Obviously, something, and that's horrible for insurance purposes. This is a horrible scenario to have this live animal on set. Obviously, it can snap. Obviously, the balloons set it off, but I feel so bad for him, for Gordy.
Yeah. No, me too.
I
do
yes.
for sure.
I'm like more chill. I'm just like, fuck yeah, Gordy, fuck him up, man.
Mm-hmm. And then you get Jupe, you get Ricky as a young kid. He's under the table, right. And I love that shot of him just staring out, and he sees the shoe. Well, first you get the dad. The dad comes out, and he's like, Gordy, like, you know, it's not like, like, what are you, fucking stupid? Why did you come out of your hiding spot, you fucking idiot? He's done, yeah. So that was pretty brutal. You get to see him, like, behind the swinging door getting pummeled to death. And then, you get the shoe standing up. I know a lot of people were confused by that. I've seen on online forums and stuff, but Jordan Peele has made some comments on what that means. I'm not sure how you interpreted the shoe. I think it's a pretty good message and theme. It's basically, I took it as a bad miracle because we get that bad miracle line, but I know Jordan Peele, I have it in my notes here. He basically... he refers to it as the impossible shot. It's kind of Jupe disassociating from his trauma and focusing on something during the trauma, and that's kind of what it represents. Is kind of in Jupe's mind, he kind of just is seeing something that's almost impossible, and that's how he's able to compartmentalize the trauma for when he's older. So I thought that was really cool. And then the fist bump, dude. The fist bump is so cool. And again, when you watch the scene with Terry Notary and he does the fist bump, it's really cool to see. You should go back and check that out. But
I'll watch the special.
I feel like Gordy relates to Ricky in that moment because I think it's a commentary on child actors and stuff and how
100%.
They exploit child actors. So I think that was a really powerful image. Again, the cinematography of that image with a monkey paw kind of reaching out and doing the fist pump to Ricky was really powerful.
And then poor Gordy gets shot. They don't even shrink him. They just fucking kill him.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's a
Gordy.
goner. Yeah. But again, this was like the 90s, so you don't have as many activist groups and laws and stuff. So they were just like, fuck this. They were not taking any chances. I mean, he had a pretty high kill count at that point. I don't know how many people he killed, but you see in the background the audience like just completely fucking holy shit, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was obviously one of the best sequences in the movie. I'm like, hell yeah. But it ends with a bummer. Because, I mean, again, I like the commentary of animals in the entertainment industry and the animal abuse. I mean, technically, this is a very, 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 very well choreographed scene, 100%. I'll agree with you on that. So this is one of the best sequences in the entire movie. Great.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I definitely agree.
And it's fascinating what happens with Jupe, what he turns into as an adult. It's just so fascinating, what he ends up as.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So I think I'm going to say that sequence and the next two sequences are all fucking back-to-back-to-back bangers. So we get the little clip of Angel. He comes back to the ranch and he's prepping for the storm. And this is what I mean. I mean, he's fully invested at this point. He's like, oh, I'm just making sure that these cameras work for the storm. Yeah. So that was funny. So we know that Angel's part of the crew at this point. We get a little bit of quick there. But then we get to one of, if not the best sequence in the movie. And this is, in a lot of ways, I know we have about an hour left in the movie, but this is in a lot of ways kind of the climax of the film and where we really get the big reveal of what the fuck's going on. Yeah, go ahead.
It's fucked up because Jupe invites them to the live show knowing what he's doing to their horses. That's so fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's offering them to Jean Jacket. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? You're never going to buy your horses back, man. They're getting killed. He's offering up for slaughter.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I know. Yeah.
But that's how fucking cocky and conceited and like an asshole this guy is.
It almost makes me think, you're right, but I feel like he did that purposefully because they stole his training horses. And that's why he came to the ranch to give him the flyer. He's like, fuck these people. If they want to fucking steal my shit, I'm going to invite them and watch their horse die.
You can't even give him the flyer fucking properly.
I know. I know. But this just goes to show you how fucked up Jupe is, man. I mean, he, again, dealt with that trauma. And instead of like, dealing with it and maybe advocating for animals and being on the other side of it, he completely doubles down and just, like you said, he doesn't give a shit about the horses. He doesn't give a shit about the people in the stands that they're going to witness something horrifying. He doesn't care. He's just trying to make a quick buck.
I agree. And it's also fascinating because he saw what happened with Gordy. They tried to domesticate Gordy, and obviously you can't. And he's trying to almost domesticate the UFO Jean Jacket and gain its trust to come to the show. So it's just fascinating how he didn't learn the lesson with Gordy. Yeah, it's like, dude,
I know.
Eat a bag of dicks, you're gonna be done. Like, what are you doing, man?
It's so funny how his character reacts to literally discovering a UFO, though. Like, instead of calling the government or doing anything, he creates like this sideshow. It's just, and he does a family and friends preview. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what are you doing?
Then he was gonna die. I want it to be my family first.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, I personally love this sequence. So he's got Lucky in the box, right?
Same.
He does the big speech and stuff. It's super corny. He's going to have his kids come out and do like a thing. And then, because as we know, he's practiced this and we hear it earlier in the movie. OJ hears his speech. He doesn't know what's going on quite, but he hears like him practicing at nighttime. So he doesn't expect Jean Jacket to come so soon, but here comes Jean Jacket and he's like, all right, I guess we're going. So Lucky, I don't know. I kind of picked up on this the third and fourth time watching this. I don't think it was an accident, or I don't think Lucky was lucky. I think Lucky didn't leave the box because the other horses that OJ sold were in training, and I think Lucky was a ready horse that was ready for commercials and movies. I mean, it wasn't his fault that they got fired. It was the guy with the fucking mirror. So I think Lucky, that's how trained that horse was, that it wasn't going to just take off. So I don't think it was a coincidence that Lucky stayed. I think it was because Lucky was
stayed in the box.
a really well trained horse, and it just brings Jean Jacket right to the fucking crowd, dude.
I love it that he consumed Jean Jacket consumes Jupe and everybody besides Lucky. I'm like, finally, get those fuckers. And this is along with the Gordy scene, this is obviously one of the horror sequences I'm talking about. This is again. If you're gonna make this movie, show it to me. And they show it. Everyone inside Jean Jacket, that scene, I'm like, fuck yeah, this is what I fucking want. It's awesome. It's so good. And again, you can tell that's practical with them, and it's so fucking good.
Yeah, it is. Again, you watch the bonus features.
The screaming,
it's really cool.
Just the screaming alone, and then it's so damn good. So
Real
I'm saying
quick,
there's these little
how
sequences.
creepy was Mary Jo in the audience with her fucked up face or torn up face?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the sister from the sitcom.
The co-star.
A lot of people didn't get that either. Yeah, a lot of people didn't get that. But I'm
really? I thought it was pretty obvious. I mean,
everyone's like, "Why? Who was in there?" I'm like, "Obviously."
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I do because she looks up. Oh, fuck! Here we go.
I know.
No, again, I couldn't ask for more, and I love that Jupe is taken out. Obviously, I wanted to see everything and him really suffer. But it's awesome that he's taken out of the movie.
He's taken out, and it's pretty fucked up, dude.
His family's taken out too. Everyone's taken out.
These people don't die. I mean, they're screaming, and we'll see later on in the movie. They're screaming for a while. They're being like slowly digested or whatever. And this is when you kind of get. The first time I watched it, I still didn't know what it was, but you knew there was something else going on besides it being it wasn't a spaceship, and I believe OJ kind of said that. He's like, what if it's not a ship? What if it's alive? He doesn't quite know that yet, but you kind of get context.
He confirms it in this scene, yeah.
Yeah, he confirms it, yeah. So I love that sequence, and then we jump into another banger of a sequence. Fucking amazing. Emerald is the one who hears the voices of the victims over the house when she's in the house. And having just witnessed that scene, it's all the people from Jupiter's Claim. It's so fucking chilling because she has no idea what's going on, but what's going on. You're like, holy fuck. It's right over the house, and like these people are screaming for help inside of this thing. It's so good. I love it so much.
I agree. I also love that, going back to what you said about Lucky, him being trained, obviously, he's very good with OJ. I think it has another thing to do. Obviously, Lucky knew, I guess, I don't know if horses know not to look up for a certain point. He's a trained horse, and obviously we find out that Jean Jacket goes after those who look directly at it. And again, that has a lot to do with show business. There's a good correlation with show business and everything. But I like when OJ figures that out. I think it's again goes back to how smart Jordan Peele is with going back to that Lucky scene, why he also wasn't taken because he didn't look up, he didn't get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, OJ is pretty. I know you don't relate to him right away, but he's a really competent character. He's a pretty smart.
I like
dude.
when he tries to. After Lucky scene, I'm finally like, okay, this guy's he can be my protagonist. It's okay at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, my next favorite, I love the scene with the blood house. The three scenes, the blood.
I know, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like this whole second act is
is there
banger after banger. But you keep saying that, but you keep saying it about scenes like that. We have so many.
There's
of
three
these.
Scenes.
There's more than three. There's 3 scenes in a row. Not just the other scenes, like the alien scene and stuff. I mean, come on, dude.
The alien scene the alien scene's what I wanted the movie to be. But the 3 scenes, Gordy, obviously this Jean Jacket, Jupe scene. I mean, obviously that's a great horror scene, and then the blood house. And those are the 3 scenes that really stick out. Those are the 3 scenes that I'll go back and rewatch. The blood house scene is just so well shot. It doesn't last as long as I want it to, but just the imagery is good enough for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I love this sequence. I love the shot. Everyone talks about the blood rain shot. I mean, obviously for good reason. It's iconic. But one of the underrated shots is when OJ is in his truck down the road and he's looking at the house. and he sees the rain, but the rain doesn't quite look right. It's like kind of falling in a weird way. And you're like, is that like a bad practical effect? What's going on? And then you see, at least it takes me a couple seconds to see Jean Jacket hovering above the house. And it's not rain. It's well, it is rain, but it's like rain falling from Jean Jacket, and that's why it looks
the
so
remains
weird.
of the Jupiter's claim.
Yeah, so creepy. And then I love when this is my favorite nope of the movie, when OJ opens the door and he looks up, and then he just slowly closes the door, and he's like, nope, and he just sits there. I'm like, oh, that's great, because at this point, like you said,
the windshield too.
Yeah, at this point, he knows not to look up. He's kind of figured it out. So he knows I'm just going to bunker down, not going to get out, not going to look up, and hopefully we can ride this out. But I think it's super creepy that he falls asleep, right? And then it's not until morning. I didn't pick up on this. I don't know if you did. It's not until pretty much morning that everything turns back on. Like the car radio and the electronics and stuff, which means that Jean Jacket was hovering over them the entire night, which is fucking chilling to me. I'm like, oh my god! So he wakes up.
I'm happy that Lucky made it too.
Yeah, well, Lucky was safe in the trailer.
Yep. And
so
yep. He couldn't look up.
Exactly. So yeah, it's morning now, and all the electronics turn on. And this is where
once his face agrees to help.
Oh yeah, but yeah,
that fucker.
Antlers, yeah. So I'm assuming this is where you don't love how it slows down a bit and it kind of breathes.
The rest of the movie just it doesn't
the
work
rest of the movie, even the ending.
I have a few chuckles with Angel, and then when he gets caught up in that thing, with Jean Jacket, there's a couple of moments. But the rest of the movie doesn't live up to those 3 sequences.
Okay, so you don't like the ending? Or it's just not as strong?
It's fine. It's not strong to me. It's not a strong ending. It's fine.
I am like, by the ending, I'm like fucking hooting and hollering, dude.
Hooting and hollering.
So
it's fine, but it doesn't live up to those 3 3 great horror sequences. The rest of the movie is an adventure movie, 100%.
Yeah.
There's no more horror.
I guess I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time with the way you're describing this movie, because there's really high highs for you, but
there's
the whole second act for you is like an entire high. It sounds like all 3 of those sequences. The barn sequence is like the beginning of the second act, kind of.
The barn sequence is a high until it's not. Yeah, and then the 3.
Yeah,
the Gordy flashback,
and you just you want that the entire time, but like no movie is like that, Like I don't know.
But
there's going to be ebbs and flows. Well, here we go. Here we go. Here we go into the third act, and this is why I love how it kind of slows down a bit and it breathes. We get those sequences back to back to back, and it's like super exhilarating. And now we kind of slow down. And we get into, like, you said Antlers contacts them. They're at the diner. We get into that stage where they start to plan. And now it's like they're planning how to tackle this beast, if you will. And I think it's fucking brilliant, because you're totally invested in this trio. And, you want them to succeed. At least I do. And you're all in on this plan. And you're like, holy shit, like, let's fucking do it. So by the time they get to the climax of the movie at the end, I am completely invested, because they let the beginning of the third act kind of settle down and breathe, and we had that slow build up again. I think it works beautifully. Yes, it's not as, I guess I'll say, it's not as conventional horror as the second act was, for sure. It's not terrifying, but I am like just glued to the TV with my mouth open and my eyes wide, because it's such a beautiful ending. Some of these shots and the reveal of Jean Jacket is so fucking cool to me. I'm a bit more into the sci-fi elements than you are, so that probably plays a role in it, for sure. And this is where some of the Western themes really come into play, especially OJ at the end. But I guess it just doesn't land with you. So what do you think about the whole... You said that it kind of falls off the rest of the movie. I get that, but you have real issues with the pacing, I guess, going forward?
it just feel like the build stops, and it's just like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and then it's just kind of their plan. There's no more build. Like, again, a lot of people compare this to Jaws on land, and if you go with Jaws, that movie only builds. It just builds and builds. The tension builds to the fucking end, and it's horror, it's tension, it's thrilling, it's terrifying, suspenseful, and this is he's trying to do that, but there's no suspense to me in the end of the movie. It's just an adventure. Like, let's get it. Yippee yay, let's go.
So after seeing all those scenes, the blood rain, the Jupiter's claim, there's no suspense for you at the end, like knowing what's really.
No, and I do think that one of the three should have been taken out to get it a little ballsy here.
Well, you kind of spoiled the ending. There's a lot of people that think OJ is dead, so you don't believe that.
No, I don't believe that.
Okay. I was going to save that for the end. I don't either. I think he's alive, and I'm happy he's alive. But there are a lot of people that think that was a vision that Emerald was seeing, and that he did sacrifice himself. Which, it could be interpreted that way, too.
I feel like he's unharmed with Lucky standing there at the end.
Yeah, people think that that's not real, that she's seeing him. Like, it's in her mind. That he sacrificed himself.
No. I think he just stared at Jean Jacket to intentionally draw him in, obviously, so she could do her thing with the motorcycle and, Well,
yeah, no, I know. But I'm on the same page as you. I think he lives, but you can make a case that he sacrificed himself, and that's what allowed her to get away. That he got sucked up, because we don't see him again until the last shot. So I think both are right. I don't think there's a wrong answer. I've gone over it in my rewatches, and there's a plausible case. I'm on the side that he's alive, though, for sure. I
100%. I think so.
I think with the Western themes and stuff, I think it plays right into that. So, who do you think should have died, though? Angel?
I think one of the two leads. No, Angel's my boy. I think it's hilarious that he survives from getting entangled in the tarp. That's why, because he can't see. So that's how I think that was fucking comedy gold. That's how he lived. No, I don't think Angel should have died. I think one of the two leads should have died. But
no, I disagree. If this was a straight up horror movie, I would agree with you. But again, it plays on all these different genres, and I think it fits for the type of ending he was going with.
I mean, the character who dies is obviously the one who we would want to die in the third act, and he does die. He's so pretentious to get his perfect shot.
He's inconsequential. Yeah.
Oh, I fucking hate him. No, but it's a fine, like, adventurous ending. Conclusion. It's funny. I'm thankful that Angel's there, because he really brings up the vibe, and I can laugh and have a couple giggles with him, but I don't really feel too much tension.
Okay. Fair enough.
But Jean Jacket looks cool. I mean, again, it looks amazing. Everything that's happening looks awesome. So if you're gonna watch, if you guys don't feel in the movie or don't like the vibe of it, everything looks beautiful, at least, from a filmmaking standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. The few people in my life that have seen this movie, they've all really enjoyed it. So this is really the first, and I know the internet always has different takes, and you're always going to get those different takes. But you're the first person that I know personally that it doesn't really jive with. So it did half of this episode. Sorry, guys, if I feel like I'm trying to formulate my thoughts in real time. I'm just trying to process what you're telling me because it's so different from how I experience the movie, and that's what's great about art. And
subjective people.
So, okay.
Give it to me. Tell me about your films. I just dissed it a little bit. Let's hear you.
Again, the whole planning scene, like when they get back to the house after the diner, they meet up with Antlers. I'm part of the crew now. I'm like, all right, this makes sense. We're going to go on the rig. OJ's going to go out with Lucky. He's going to draw it out. I'm like, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. I love the scene where fucking Emerald and OJ are like, let's go. And they're slapping hands. That's a great fucking scene. It always pumps me up.
On the porch, yeah.
Yeah, on the porch. That's a great GIF, too. I always use that GIF on Twitter. So. But Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's definitely not as like super creepy. It's during the daytime, so you're not going to get those nighttime horror vibes. I still feel that intensity though. It's
Do you fear
not,
for any of their lives in this conclusion? Because I knew I'm like, there's no way any of them are dying at this point.
um
Like in Jaws, I didn't, like, I was fearing for them, in Jaws. And this, I'm like, nah, they're fine.
you know, I'm going to give you an honest answer. The first time I watched this, and this isn't a cop out, I was enjoying it so much. By the time I got to this ending sequence, I was just not thinking about anything really. I wasn't
Okay.
really thinking about
All
that
right.
stuff. I was just kind of along for
You're
the
just
ride.
having a good time with
Yeah,
how it's playing out.
I was
Okay.
kind of just having a good time. So I really can't give you an answer.
Okay.
I understand where you're coming from with that though. And I get what you're saying, how you wish the ending could be a little bit more, I guess, horror
And even
vibes.
they didn't have to die. No one had to die, but I wanted to feel like that one of them could have died, maybe.
Yeah.
That one of them didn't end up having to die. You know what I mean? Talk about how
I
a jean
love-
jacket like gets even larger. That's cool.
Yeah, I
Like,
just
he
love the
resembles a jellyfish.
face-off. I just love the face-off element of the whole thing, how it's just like
Okay.
them facing off against Jean Jacket, that I don't mind the fact that it's not super creepy. I guess that's where kind of I lay on it. But yeah, let's talk about Jean Jacket, because this is when we really get like the second big reveal. His disc form is not what I'm calling him he because, Jean Jacket was a he.
Right, whatever.
the
It's an
horse, but
organism or
it's an
whatever
organism,
the fuck it is. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not, politically correct on an alien.
We'll be fine. But you can call
Yeah.
you can call jean jacket whatever you want.
Yeah, I really like it, and I know again I hate to go back to the bonus features on the 4K, but they talk about his design, and there was they hired like biologists and anthropologists and stuff to really
cool.
study and try to make, not believable, but make it like it's a real organism, and they modeled it off of jellyfish and off of different species that we find
Oh, cool.
in the world. So it was really fascinating to see that. But I just love it that he keeps getting bigger and bigger, and then when he's like full spread and he's got the fucking opening, like the little anus, I call it, like where he sucks people in. It's again, the first time I watched it, I'm just like, holy fuck, they went there. Like they fucking went there. They showed all of this. It was just like kudos to Jordan Peele to really take a chance with that, because I think it paid off showing that much, and I think it was beautiful, and it's got such a different vibe from the rest of the movie, and I love it. I think it's awesome. But yeah, the whole scene, so we get the TMZ guy on the motorcycle, and you're just
the paparazzi.
I'm just begging for him to fucking, he's gonna die. I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this guy to
yeah.
fucking die. And then I'm screaming at OJ. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, fuck this guy. He came onto your property. This is private property. Like, let him fucking die. But what did you think of the whole? I thought the whole plan was really cool. I thought the wavy inflatable tube man people throughout the valley was a really cool touch, and how they can track where it is and how the energy dips and stuff. I thought that was really cool, and it's kind of a way to
I like that too.
It's kind of a way to build suspense without actually showing where it is in the sky. If that makes sense, you don't know where it is, but you do know where it is. I thought that was a pretty clever way to do it.
No, that was cool because I don't want to see, like, we already see a lot. I don't want to see too much of Jean Jacket. I already see a lot of him, or it, whatever it is. But I don't need to see it. I'd rather have something like in Jaws, the bucket is where you can tell where the shark is, to kind of give a little contrast, you know what I mean? So I do it like that.
This is what I was anticipating you saying, was we do see too much of Jean Jacket at the end. Is this where you're going?
Okay.
Okay.
We do.
I figured as much. I figured you were going to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it, but I do. I'm like, all right, this is a little overboard for me. It gets a little too, not cheesy, but it's a little too much for me, with the showing of him.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of takes away from in the earlier scenes of the movie where you don't, you can't, what's behind the clouds, where is it? Kind of takes away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
But of course, you're going to have an extravagant, if you're going to have an adventure-esque ending, you're going to see Jean Jacket in its full glory, obviously.
We kind of agree that less is more, at least in terms of horror, but again, it works for me. I think we get enough of that in the first two acts. And especially in the first act, it kind of slowly builds how much you see him. So I don't mind the fact that it goes all out at the ending. I actually appreciate it. And speaking of the TMZ guy, one of the best lines, your boy Angel, when he goes, there's no way that guy's alive. And then as soon as he says that, the guy starts screaming. And he's just like, oh, shit. I fucking love that line.
I love Angel.
Yeah, it's
so
great.
Good. But to your point, also, the ending of the movie wasn't going for that less is more tension horror vibe.
No.
It was going for that all-out adventure ending. So that's obviously why he chose to show
for
Jean
sure.
Jacket, you know.
Yeah, whether you agree with the
different
direction
taste,
or not, it definitely fits with the theme of the ending of what he was going with, for sure.
Yeah, it's the ending. He did what he wanted, and that's how, you know, he played it out exactly how he wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, where do you land on the ending of the movie? So when Emerald gets back to Jupiter's claim, because at this point, like I said, I'm fully invested
With the balloon?
with the balloon and with the.
Do you like the balloon?
Do I like the balloon?
Like the balloon, like how that's how it, like, you know, how Jean Jacket attempts to feed on the balloon, and that's how they pretty much defeat it. I don't know.
I don't really have a problem with it. I don't know what were they going to shoot it with a gun? I don't really know.
I don't know, but I'm like a balloon. I mean, it
fits
cool.
thematically.
Cool
I mean, we had
see.
balloons throughout the movie. We had balloons in the Gordy scene, and we had the
And just some of the balloon bursting is what destroys it.
yeah, I know. We think it destroys it. I mean, it kind of fucking implodes it in a way. But no, what I was getting at is, how do you feel about the ending where she's trying to get the picture in the well? See, to me, that's super intense. Not because I feel for her life or anything, but because I'm so invested and I want them to succeed. They went through so much. You don't know if
OJ's... have the proof, you mean?
Yeah, you don't know if OJ's dead or not at that point. So it's like, come on, girl, just get that shot, get that shot. Do you feel the same way during that scene?
I mean, I'm like, I hope she gets it after all this, but I'm not like, get it, girl. You got this.
I'm like fully, I'm fully on board. I'm fully invested. I was on the edge of my seat for that whole sequence.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, because at that point, I'm not checked out, but I'm not like fully in it either by the ending.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but I get, obviously, by that point, I do want our main characters to succeed and like get the proof of Jean Jacket, you know. I do want them to, you know, succeed in their mission.
Yeah. And speaking of our dear beloved antlers, I love that. I love the line where he's like, "We don't deserve the impossible shot," and he's like, "I have to go to the light." And I guess he wants to film being abducted. That's kind of what he was going for.
No, he's a pretentious director, whatever. He wants his perfect shot, and he's gonna do whatever it takes to get it.
Yeah, I think he had this weird sense, this weird code, like this weird honor system. Because you see that he was a wildlife director when he was looking at his footage. Yeah. So I think he felt scummy about tricking Jean Jacket. So he wanted to get the shot by just going face to face with him because he's fucking pretentious and full of himself. And I thought that was funny as hell. But yeah, that was just a quick side note. So yeah, we get our happy ending. She gets her shot just as the cops arrive and the media arrives.
Right.
And then you see the image of OJ on fucking Lucky. Him and Lucky both survive. And you get them under the sign, and it's like total Western vibes.
They definitely survived, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm talking about.
I agree. I think they survived. I think it fits thematically with what he was going with. I don't think there's any reason why it would be like fake and that they were dead. I guess if some people want to believe that, but I think they're alive for sure.
These theories that these people have, you know, he's definitely alive on that. On Lucky, him and Lucky are kicking. They're good to go.
Lucky's your favorite character.
Oh, Lucky and Angel are my favorite. 100%.
I love out of everything in this movie, Angel is like one of the high points for you. Not fucking
he cracks me
Emerald,
up.
not, you know, anything else. That's so funny. No, he did a great job. I totally agree with you, for sure. Okay, so that's Nope, guys.
I want to know your fucking score on this one.
That is Nope. Woo. Yeah, here we go. So first, we're going to get into our never split up moments. You're going to go first.
Oh, shit.
I know you always forget about it, but I hate to put you on the spot,
all
but
right.
you won.
I have an easy one.
You won, so...
You're going to win this week because, you know, my never split up moment is going to be... what do I want my never split up moment to be? This is going to be very interesting. I might go with Antlers, trying to get his perfect shot. I mean, how dumb you can be to not know that you're going to get killed when you go there. Gene Jack is coming for you. So I'm going to be like, he's a pretentious asshole. I'm happy that he got killed.
Yeah.
But how dumb could you be to do that to get your perfect shot? He thinks he's better than or higher than everyone else that, it's not going to affect him. So I'm going to go with him. He goes up and goes face to face with Jean Jacket, and, he gets it. Makes a dumb decision. Because I think our three leads, like, when they're really, like, in the conclusion, in the climax, they're pretty smart. I mean, even Angel not trying to be, him falling and getting tangled ends up with, that saves him. So they are pretty, intuitive. And they know what they're doing in the finale. So, but he's just a dumbass. He's just all up in his head, So I'm going to go with Antlers. He's a dumbass trying to get his perfect shot, getting killed for it.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't really call that a never split up moment because I want him to die, so I'm not really screaming at the TV.
Too. I'm happy he died.
It is a dumb moment though.
But you're like dumb, you're dumb, dummy, dummy, what are you doing?
So I'm actually gonna go with Antlers as well. And this is a moment that I always scream at the TV, like, what the fuck are you doing? It is the beginning part of the sequence when they first set up. And he starts before Jean Jacket even comes and any of the inflatables go down, he starts rolling. And that comes into play because he has to change the footage out halfway through when Jean Jacket is visible. And I'm like, dude, every time I'm like, dude, why are you rolling footage? There's nothing out there yet. Why don't you wait until Jean Jacket even has any signs that he's nearby? Then you start rolling. So I'm going to go with the fact that he starts rolling right away before they're even, setting the trap up. And then that causes him to not get the shot right away because, and I guess an add-on to that is they didn't have the second film roll ready. He had to fucking get Angel to fucking run all the way into the bag, like 20 feet away, and he had to fucking get it, and he's like, oh, what's this guy doing? It's like, well, what the fuck? You didn't have that shit ready beforehand? Like, come on, dude, what are you doing? So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Antlers kind of not having his film good to go and ready, and he kind of filmed it a little bit too quick. I always yell at the TV when I see that.
All right, so Antlers isn't doing too good for us.
Yeah, fuck Antlers, dude. Like you said, our characters are pretty pretty smart. There's not that too
they're
many.
With it.
The only other one I could say, especially at the ending, is like I mentioned, like OJ going towards the TMZ guy to try to save him. But you really can't call that a never split up because he does leave him. He's like, all right, dude, I gotta fucking leave you. Like, you won't listen to me. So yeah, that's really the only other one I would go with. But that's not really a good moment either. So.
And this is a different kind of movie that it's like for have never split up. So those are two pretty cool ones.
Yeah,
I'll take them.
Okay. I'll let you decide.
So we're going to do the scores, guys, and then we'll do the ranking, obviously, after we score Nope.
Yeah. Do you? I'll let you decide since you won the poll. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first, just so we're not ending it on a... I mean, yeah, overall thoughts. Again, this is a fine movie. It's well made technically. It just doesn't... I don't connect with this anywhere near as much as Get Out and Us. Obviously, those two movies I really love, so I did think this was a little step down for Jordan Peele. Again, there's telling that I've had this Blu-ray, this 4K, and I had to unwrap it to watch it for this episode, so it's not one that I'm going to go back to as much. I appreciate the filmmaking. Other than that, it has cool sequences. But as a whole, again, I think there was an awesome 90-minute horror adventure that would have been fucking badass. And it's a 2-hour and 10-minute movie with some cool sequences, good performances. And other than that, it's a little bit of a slug. But it is well made, and I'm going to give props for that. But again, this is going to be bad. You're going to not like me. But I'm going to give it a 6.4.
Oh my God. What?
It's not a
6.4 after everything you said about it. That was good. The whole second act. Wow. Dude, I gave Scream 2 a 7.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to...
No.
Big
Be true to
criteria
yourself.
for me is rewatch. Big criteria to me is rewatch.
I know, and I think that plays too much into your scores, but that's for another day. I think certain movies don't have to be rewatchable as much as slashers, but that's okay. Okay.
Yeah, dude, this is
All right. 6.4. I'll take
and just
it.
to compare, again, my other two Jordan Peele movies
Yeah.
were in the 8s.
Yeah.
Mid to high 8s.
Okay, so at number 3,
it's not a Jordan Peele thing.
you had Nope. You had and then you're keeping your rankings for the other two.
I don't know because I love Us so much. All
Uh,
right, my issue is Us has my favorite sequence of all of his 3 movies with the Elizabeth Moss scene. It's so fucking good. But I think that Get Out, overall, blending the themes and the story is better than Us.
But Us is more rewatchable.
It's just Us is like such more of a horror movie too. Like straight up.
But it does have its problems.
If I can make them tie, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna stick to my guns because I do think all around that Get Out is
It's a better movie.
a better rounded movie.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Get Out, my number 1.
Okay.
Us is right there.
Yeah.
Us is right there as number 2, and then you take Steps down, and then it's Nope.
Steps.
But again,
You go to the
Nope's
cellar. Holy shit! Yeah. Fucking 6.
I go to the basement for Nope. when I wanna watch
Wow.
it.
Okay.
So yeah, so what I say, Get Out was 8.6, Us 8.5. So that's my 1 and 2, and then Nope 6.4. Again, well-made movie, just not for me. Not for me. I can appreciate the technical aspects, just not for me. So, what's your score for Nope?
All right. Just real quick to recap Nope. I fucking adore this movie. I think it looks amazing. The cinematography is incredible. I think the writing is impeccable. The performances, all 3 performances from our 3 leads are amazing. They work so well together. If you didn't have a character like Emerald, a character like OJ wouldn't work, but they work so well together. I think the concept of Jean Jacket being super mysterious in the beginning, getting the big reveal in the middle, and then having the huge face-off at the end is a great way to construct the story. And like I said, it blends genres so effortlessly, and I think he really, like you said, he doesn't quite nail what he was going for. I think it works for me. I think it's super rewatchable. You disagree? I could just throw this on and I'm kind of at Haywood Ranch and just chilling with my homies. I feel like it's that kind of movie. Except for Antlers. Antlers can go fuck off. Yeah, this movie's great, dude. The only thing I will knock it for is it's too new. So it's gonna get knocked a little bit because it's only a couple years old. But with that being said, I'm giving it a 9.8.
Holy fucking
9.8.
shit. A 9.8? Now, what was Get Out and Us again?
Ask me 10 years from now, and it might be a 10. But I can't give it a 10 yet because it's still too new. But I think it's pretty much a perfect movie. I really can't find anything wrong with it. Yeah. It really... And it's so funny because I didn't see it in theaters. And maybe because I had lower expectations going in, because it got mixed reviews, I was blown away. Yeah. I'm blown away by this movie.
I thought maybe high 8s, but fucking a 9.
Dude, are you kidding me? It was my favorite movie of 2022. You didn't think it would be in the 9s? Oh my gosh, it's fucking...
I thought maybe a 9 at the most.
Really? No. I really...
All right, so...
I really...
So this is your favorite Jordan Peele movie?
Oh my god, by far. So Nope is number 1 by far. And then we have Get Out at 8.6, which is really fucking good. And then Us is 8.0. So I have Nope, Get Out, and then Us. That's my 3.
All right. Okay.
That's
let's see
gotta be our highest, our biggest difference.
I think
for
so.
sure. 6.4 to a 9.8. That's gotta be our biggest.
Well,
I know Child's Play was pretty big, but I don't think you had it that high up. Like a 9.8.
It's over 3. We're over 3 points.
Yeah.
Like that's a big gap.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Scream 2 was 3 points exactly, but this was over 3 points. Yeah.
This was over.
Damn.
Yeah, because you ended up giving a 7. Okay.
Damn.
So we have different Jordan Peele rankings. Okay.
Yeah, we just kind of flip-flop Nope, I guess. You know.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. Bottom for me, top for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So that wraps up this episode, guys. I hope you had a good time. Let us know who you agree with more because we have some pretty different takes on this movie. Or are you somewhere in the middle? Do you give this movie like a 7 or an 8? Let us know for sure. We're going to be posting some polls and stuff, so keep a lookout for that. We don't quite know what our next episode is going to be, but I know we're approaching our 50th episode. This was episode 48, guys, so be on the lookout for something special for our 50th and give us any suggestions that you want to see going forward in the future. Any other closing thoughts, Ant, before we wrap it up?
No, like you said, this movie was even a little more divisive, or just as divisive as us. So I'm curious to see what our audience thinks. Maybe we're gonna poll to see where they land on it as well. Yeah, let us know your thoughts, who you agree with more, what you think about Nope, and what your Jordan Peele ranking is. I want to see all those rankings as well, and then we'll let you guys know what we're covering next within the next week or so.
Awesome. Yeah. Until next time, guys, I'm Nolan. That's Anthony. It's the Never Split Up podcast, and we'll see you later. Thanks. Bye.
See you guys.